It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welkom terug, Mugayet. So, amogelesega. Kila na kholi tumidi sang Expresso on SABC3. Live on this Monday morning for our time to talk about relationships. Now, intimacy is, of course, a very important part of a relationship. But what happens when partners have different libido levels and the result leaves one or both partners frustrated and feeling rather insecure? Well, with us to discuss this topic is relationship expert Dr. Eve, and we'll also be answering all of your questions and taking your comments. So do give us a call. The new number to dial is 021 430 9886. It's also on your screen. Dr. Eve, good morning to you.
So excited.
Yes, so am I. So am I. All right. But before we really get into the meat of the libido topic, let's go on to the street quickly, where the question we asked to you is, how important is sex in a relationship?
I think sex is quite important in a relationship. Just, I think it brings you closer together.
It's probably the most important thing.
It's very important. You have to keep your spiciness up there, because if you don't keep it up there, then your marriage will go down.
I think it's rather important. I think it's just like a smaller percentage of everything that builds up, and so like it's part of that glue, you know, that keeps things together.
I think it is important, yeah. I think it binds a relationship together.
Well, as the lady said there, it's important to keep those spicy levels there. Let's also just remind our parents and guardians out there that this is a topic that contains adult matter, so please be careful of what you allow your children to listen to. But Dr. Eve, yes, let's get into this.
Yes.
The importance of having a healthy sex life. How important is that really? That one gentleman says it only forms a small percentage of what your relationship is.
Yeah, and yet when it isn't there or it's problematic, it consumes the entire relationship. One has to think about what is healthy sexuality, and it's different for every single person. We want to have something called satisfaction. Now, unfortunately, people really believe that quantity, frequency, is what determines satisfaction. And there's been a huge amount of research around that, Katlego, to have a look at frequency as compared to quality.
Okay.
And we know that a lot of people will quantify their sexual satisfaction according to how many times. And really that's the core of what we're talking about today, because this causes so much pain in couples, whether they're same-sex or opposite-sex couples, is how many times should we be being sexual, being intimate per week, per month?
Yeah.
And they then put themselves, or they will then compare themselves to this ideal. And the ideal that's thrown around is like 2 to 3 times a week, and then people say, oh my goodness, you know, we're far away from that.
Where does this ideal come from? Who said this is the standard?
I think the media, and not you.
No,
not
we certainly
I.
don't.
We don't put numbers. We are not putting numbers to any kind of sexual activity at all. But there is this belief that if you are frequently sexual, that means that you're happier together in a relationship. The dyad, as we call it, is happier. And in fact, I was reading research just this weekend which absolutely disproves this theory. Sexuality is very important. When two people get to meet each other, there is something called chemistry or attraction or passion. It has to be there. Otherwise, you're going to slip into a companionable relationship, which is fine if that's what you both agree on.
Yeah.
But people don't always agree that that's what they want. People go into relationships and make them significant through the sexuality, through the intimacy, because they're best friends. And we've spoken about best friends so often on the show. That's what differentiates best friends from people who are really in an intimate environment. It's vitally important that people have some kind of sexuality together. The difference and the difficulty comes in when they sit together for a while, that chemistry disappears, as it will, and then they say, okay, you know, what do we have now with each other? Because we've kind of tried all this intimate stuff, we've tried all this fancy footwork and sexual techniques, and now we're just sitting here, and do we really have anything to say to each other?
Wow.
Do we really have anything in common? What is our values that we really have that's going to sustain this thing called relationship? And oftentimes, the sexuality disappears and the couple say, we're done.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue with Dr. Eve, and once again, we do welcome your calls and your questions and comments on 021 430 9886. We're talking about libido and having a healthy sex life in your relationship. Graham, over to you for now.